Hello everyone and welcome to this week's video. So this week's video is going to be a bit of sketchbooking, and I thought I'd dust off my mic and do a voiceover as well. So as you can see in this little sped up section, I start or try to start each sketchbook piece with a little warm up rather than just diving into some drawings. It just helps warm your muscles up, gets your hand-eye coordination in, and kind of irons out any creases before you start. But in a sketchbook there's always going to be creases. As you can see, I'm going through Pinterest. I'm not sponsored, but Pinterest is a great way to organise ideas and kind of character inspiration and things. You can save the images to boards and get really organised. So that's what I've done here. I've got a cat board and this is on my cat board. I'm trying to cartoonise, is that a word? Cartoonise. Make into cartoons pictures of real cats. And there is a very specific reason that I'm doing this. So very excitingly, the Sheffield Cats Shelter, where we got our own Dave, who is a cat if you don't know, they've very kindly and excitingly asked me to help them illustrate their new mascot for their new website that they've just launched. And they're actually running a competition that's open to the public where they're offering the chance for people to design the mascot. And then once the favourite is picked, I will be illustrating the final pictures, and I'll be creating a series of illustrations that they're going to be using on their new website and across their social media. So that's really exciting. If you are interested in taking part in that competition, I'll pop the links down below to all the terms and conditions. There is another prize as well of getting a family photo shoot with a local photographer. So I'm assuming that side of it would be limited to distance, because I don't think she's going to travel to Australia to do it. But yeah, I'll pop the link down below and that'll have all the terms and conditions. So if you're interested in taking part in that competition, have a little look and see if you're in the right kind of region and area to be able to take part, because that'd be really exciting. I could be illustrating your mascot. It's really nice actually to be able to do something to raise money for the Sheffield Cats Shelter. You might have already seen in some of my previous videos that I already sell some cat illustration mugs, where £1 from each sale goes to the Sheffield Cats Shelter, which is a nice way to earn some money for them. But because my sales outlets are closed because of COVID, they're not really selling, so I'm not really earning any money for them. One way that I am trying to earn a bit of money for them through the Kickstarter for our Dave is that while the Kickstarter is running, I will be donating £1 for every book that's requested as a reward, and there have been quite a few requested as a reward, so that will be getting them a little bit of money. But this is a really nice way to be able to, you know, lend a hand and support them by being able to do something useful and helpful. Also, it'll be really nice to be part of their history, because they're a really old institution in Sheffield. So they've been going for, I should probably have the details here. I'm going to say 120 years. I might be wrong, but it's a long time. They've been a cat shelter in Sheffield, so it's really nice to be part of their history and part of their story, even in this little kind of tiny way. So these Siamese cats that I'm drawing, I'll draw another one after this because this doesn't turn out too good. I found myself trying to move away from the cartoon element that I wanted, the nice clean crisp colours and shading, and I was starting to move towards making it a bit more realistic, and it kind of didn't work at all because it's an outline of a cartoon cat and I was trying to colour it in a kind of more realistic fur technique. It just didn't work, so I had another go. It worked a little bit better. This is where digital will work more effectively on the actual illustrations I do for the cat shelter. So if I do it digitally, I can be a bit more kind of cartoony. I don't even know if that's the right word for it, but I can be a bit more bold in my colours and make it look a bit more uniform and obviously kind of a cartoon cat. these later ones that I do, actually these later cats, I've moved away from the more traditional realistic colours, and when I colour it in with more like primary colours and kind of poppy bright colours, and that does lend itself to the kind of cartoon look of it. I really like it actually. I really like the blue on this one. These pencils, I'm not the best. I'm not the best at pencil colouring, which is why I chose to practice it here in my sketchbook. But this paper isn't the best to be using with pencils either. It's meant to be used with watercolour paper, with watercolour paints, sorry. And it's got a slight texture to it, so when you use pencils, the pencils pick up that texture. So really I was wanting to get kind of clean, bright blocks of colour, but it kind of came a bit more textured, a bit more mottled. But that is just what happens sometimes. That's the joy of sketchbooking, and you find these things out through experimentation. This big fat ginger cat here, I'm really fond of. I really like how that's turned out. I like the shape of it, and it looks like a big old jelly bean. Even with the shadows here, I'm using kind of primary colours. I really like how that's turned out. I like the blue for the shadow. And this is something that I don't normally do. I don't normally kind of embellish around things. So I've added a few stars and a few kind of pops of colour. It's something that I've seen other illustrators do with their cartoon pieces, their illustrated pieces. So I thought I'd try it, and I really like it. Kind of gives the effect that that lovely feeling you get when you're doing a big stretch, and it kind of, those little stars around it kind of give that little magic feeling as well. So, nearly at the end of my book. I've filled quite a lot of pages in this sketchbook, and this is towards the end, and I think I'm going to probably use the rest of this sketchbook to practice cats. I just really enjoy drawing cats. There's something about drawing cats which I really, really like. I think it's their ears. I never used to be very good at drawing cats, but as soon as I mastered what their ears looked like, everything else kind of fell into place. My first attempts at drawing cats back in the day ended up looking more like otters, which is never a good thing. Thank you very much for watching this week's video, and hopefully I'll catch you next week. Bye bye.